This is Nando for the Pound for Pound Boxing Show in association with Seconds Out Coffee. I'm here at Wembley Arena. George Groves. George, great turnout tonight. Who have you been impressed with tonight so far?
I think Avanesian was the standout performer. Obviously, there was a lot of prospects in there tonight. A lot of guys, working their ways through the ranks. But Avanesian is the the top ranked fighter here tonight. But he's done a tremendous performance against Liam Taylor, and did exactly what was asked of him. He just showed he was sort of a level above in terms of his strength and power, and once his shots landed, that was the end of it. And I feel like now he definitely has showed that he's beyond this sort of domestic level, European even level. He's ready for world title fights.
Who would you love to see him fight, Crawford or Ugas? Because he's called both names.
I don't think I'm not sure he beats either. Definitely doesn't beat Crawford in my respect. I think Crawford's he's up there, pound for pound on the pound for pound list. You guys, I haven't quite seen enough of him. Obviously, he beat Pacquiao recently. I'd like to see a bit more of him, but probably want to see a bit more of Avanesian as well, because he can be crude, and his high hands, and he walks into range and lets his hands go and has an effect. But even if you could take it back, I think it's 9 months when he boxed Josh Kelly, who still finding his feet in the program, still got a lot of holes in his game, but landed some big shots on him early. Never, he weathered them well and came on strong and broke Kelly down. But it showed that the skillful fighters, and if they can punch a bit and get his respect, he's going to have to see a plan B. He might have that plan B, but we're yet to see it. He hasn't needed to get it out yet. So. Great division full of great fighters that are going to make for great fights.
How disappointing was you, an old foe of yours that was meant to headline tonight? It couldn't happen due to issues with medical, Chris Eubank Jr. How disappointed was you that he couldn't get out tonight?
Yeah, sure, I want to see Chris. I feel sorry for him. It's got to be demoralising to a whole camp and get to the weigh-in, fight day, and the fight gets pulled. I had a fight pulled once, but it was fight week, so about 4 days out, and that was heartbreaking. I was fortunate enough to get out 2.5 weeks later, and they're talking about putting him out in a couple of weeks' time. He might be able to get out on the Savannah Marshall show or one of the other Sky shows coming up. But that's a tough ask anyway, because you've got to somehow maintain your peak. He would have peaked for tonight. He would have got his weight right. He would have been ready, firing all cylinders, and now he's going to have to extend that for the next couple of weeks. That's tough. So. But he's the ultimate professional. I know he doesn't balloon in weight, so he's not going to now go up to cruiserweight in the next 4 days, where he's let it slip. So sad for him, but he's done a lot of publicity in the build-up to this. I feel like it was about building his brand more than getting the rounds under his belt as such. And he covered the Joshua fight last weekend. Who does that the week before they fight? So I'm pretty sure he was confident. He would have wanted to get out there and get another win under his belt, but it'll come soon enough for him.
How are you finding retirement at the moment? Obviously, you're working for Sky. How are you finding it being a pundit as well? Do you enjoy it?
Yeah, no, I love it. Standing there and calling the shots rather than taking the shots. So I try and give an honest account of what I've seen. I've got no prejudice, I've got no alliances. I can shoot from the hip and tell it as I see it. And hopefully, people at home like that too and appreciate that. Froch, who's my dance partner out there tonight, he's very much the same as well. He shoots from the hip. So if we don't like something, we'll say it. And if we contradict each other, we'll definitely pull each other on it. And hopefully that makes us some good telly too. So, but no, this is all right. This is how I get my boxing fix now. There's no urges to get in the ring and start sweating. I pop down the gym and watch the guys train from time to time, whether that's pro or get down the amateur gym and try and hold the pads for the lads and share a bit. But other than that, these meeting boxing fans and watching boxing is more than enough for me right now.
You mentioned Carl Froch, obviously old enemy of yours, now new best friend. How did that come about? And you're going on tour together, right?
Yeah, well, we got some dates booked in. So it's one of the after show sort of. The meet and greet events where people can come and meet ex-fighters. He had the idea of booking us together and getting a bunch of dates together and calling it a tour, and it's like, okay, great, we're going on tour like the Rolling Stones. So we got a few dates in the diary. Me and Carl are cool. I mean, who knows, it might not last forever. I'm going to enjoy it now while we are. and it's just to, you'll get a little bit more of an insight than what, it's a performance when you're on telly, and it's a performance when you're in the build-up to a fight, but we'll be able to dissect each other. That's what I'm looking forward to. I'm going to try and get in his head again, but not to try and torture him, just to get what was you thinking and what was you feeling, and try and get some honest answers out of him. And he'll be doing likewise for me too. So I'm really interested to find out what his headspace was and what he's thinking and feeling at the time, and what he's thinking now. So anyone who comes along, I'm sure they're in for a real treat. First one kicked off on Friday in Bristol, and then there's a bunch of dates pretty much every week from there on in. So yeah, looking forward to meeting people.
Carl's made it clear, I don't know if he's just playing mind games. He said he wants an exhibition fight, maybe Kawasaki, maybe the likes of Roy Jones Jr. Are you ever itching to ever have an exhibition in your...
No, not really, because I don't see it as like, if I'm going to come out of retirement, I'm only 33 years old, do you know what I mean? I'm not going to fight a golden oldie, I wouldn't mind it, I'd come out and fight a YouTube fighter, or come fight a 50-year-old ex-fighter and just pull them round. But in terms of boxing, I've got no itch to do anything right now, so I'm all right.
Brilliant. Just one last thing. Obviously, your old coach, Shane McGuigan, last week, Lawrence Okolie put on a show on the Anthony Joshua card. What's next for Lawrence? What would you like to see him do? Unify?
Yeah, I want to see him unify. I feel like I'd love to. I've been saying to Lawrence and Shane for as long as I've known either of them that I think he competes at heavyweight. I think he's got the power. I think the guys will be bigger and slower, and it'll be better for him. But he's started to really find his groove now at cruiserweight. The guys are not trying to stink the place out and dive on him and tangle him up. He's able to create the space and detonate that right hand. Even got power in the left hook. So Breedis is now confirmed to be staying at cruiserweight. It seems like the heavyweight is going to be tied up for some time now. So he might as well stay at cruiserweight for as long as his body can allow him to unify, try and win as many of the belts as he can, defend, earn some money, build a name. Lawrence is a clever guy. There's a lot more to him than what originally was being presented. He's written a book. He brought a book out. You see him in music videos. He speaks well, and now he's performing in the ring as well. So, bright future for him. Looking forward to seeing what's next. They'll be pushing. I know I spoke to Shane, and they're pushing for unification fights. He got rid of a mandatory last week, so gives them a bit of breathing room. They can concentrate on getting another champion.
Brilliant. George, just one more question. Repeat or revenge? Wilder, Fury trilogy. What's going to happen?
Wilder.
Take care, George.